funny how the bleeding obvious eludes the human brain sometimes, isn't it? You'd have thought I'd have considered that putting the camera that close to the floor, that it was going to ground out the minute I led the bike over to go around the corner. Fortunately, it did so as I was just leaving work and not hanking along it 30 or 40. So no damage done, nothing lost. Apart from an increased feeling that one is slowly losing the plot. So good evening and welcome. And especially welcome to all the new subscribers. So nice of you to join me. I mean, there's no shortage of things to waste your life watching, is there? I mean, it's staggering, isn't it, just to think of how many hours worth of stuff there is just on YouTube to watch. Mind-blowing. But yeah, nothing deliberate or pre-planned this evening, other than just a quick hello and thank you. Hopefully get some vlogs done over the weekend. I do want to do a W800 versus Moto Guzzi comparison of sorts. Little suggestion from the all-year motorcyclist. I want to try and get some dance moves down on video for his charity gig. I don't know how successful I will be at that. As far as rhythm goes, I am dreadful. And that's if and that's if 10 or 15 seconds of dancing doesn't put me into cardiac arrest. That's if I don't wind up under a bus first. So there's a load of vloggers I really ought to give a shout out to, that I always forget to mention while I'm busy rambling or ranting. Oh dear, don't like this at all. But yeah, vloggers, I mean, there's RR, isn't there? Ruhain Rider, I think, or I'm not quite sure how you pronounce that, but probably butchered it. He's a good lad. Got Bandar Dank, I think, over in Thailand with his Interceptor. snakes and all. I enjoyed Ian Hughes' little ride out to the Motor Museum. That was nice, and Clementine was sounding lovely, and as I said in the comments, she's full of pep. I don't know if it's just the way he rides it, but it certainly came across as having a bit of oomph in it. I do like the classic 350. And I do like the, I think it's the Halcyon Grey one, which looks almost sort of very pale blue, doesn't it? But, well, it does to my eyes anyway. Adventures with Bella, off-roading on a Meteor. Love it. As long as you don't get stranded like Daniel Hayes did in $1 Million Bogan. Now, he's insane at times, he is. I think he's just one of these people that just doesn't have fear, or I don't know, or maybe doesn't think something through all the way. I don't know. I mean, out in the middle of Death Valley on a Harley Davidson Road King, I think. I mean, you couldn't get less off-road. Now, I know he's taken it off-road a lot during his Trans-Australia journeys, but he's been with someone. So being in the middle of Death Valley on your Todd, riding it up through those rocks and up onto a little hillock, and getting himself stuck for 5.5 hours and wrecking it in the process of getting it out. I mean, insane. However, it's good entertainment nonetheless. And I think he's doing what many of us would love to be able to do. You know, just ride around all these places in the world. You know, I think he's been on the road for 40 odd days, maybe 42 days, having done the UK, Scotland, you know, Scotland, Wales, Ireland, the States, and now into Mexico. You know, living the dream. But he's a wealthy man. He's got a good business behind him, and so he can afford to do it. So, no, good for him. Good on him. Nice bit of entertainment. So yeah, that was a bit of a tangent from Adventures of Bella. I'm a new sub to Bella. I've seen him a number of times on Stonham Barns. But the trouble is, and I'm sure a lot of you have the same problem, is just so many channels to keep up with, and there's only so many hours in the day. You know, I like to be able to support as many people as I can by watching and commenting and liking. You know, appreciate the effort they put in. You know, it costs money to do it. You don't get anything back out of it as far as money goes. I watch all of Everybody's Friend, the all-year motorcyclist, Tame, his test ride of the electric bike. But electric vehicles just have no soul, do they? They just don't. And he was right, it did sound just like a tube train or a milk float. There's something visceral and emotive about the sound of a motorbike engine, or a nice car engine for that matter. You know, it's that important that companies spend a lot of time and R&D, like Kawasaki with the W800, perfecting the exhaust note, because it is such an important part. I mean, riding a twist and go moped, it might be very convenient and ideal for commuting through London traffic, but there's something particularly bland about the noise it makes, and it's just not there with electricity. And if that's the future, then I do appreciate how the locomotive engineers felt as the 50s and 60s drew to a close and the age of steam came to an end. So I don't welcome the electric age at all. I think far too much emphasis has been put on it. And what difference is it going to make in the scheme of things? There's about 3.5 billion people between India and China, I think, or more. So I'm afraid Daphne pootling around in her electric Range Rover ain't going to make the slightest bit of difference to the climate. It's going to be a long haul thing. I'm starting to rant again. See, I've gone from saying, oh, there's some vloggers I should be, you know, mentioning and thanking for their support, to ranting about electric engines and climate change.